Hello, welcome to Pumpkin Canine Fashions. I have paw-picked my new line of dog beds. Each one delivers bold, stylish looks that make your pup stand out from the pack. With thoughtfully designed apparel and accessories, my people bring personality and flair to every tail wag. Go ahead, treat your pup to one today. Order now at pumpkincaninefashion.com. That's pumpkincaninefashion.com.
Hello, world. This is Talkin Live. Let's talk about our country going down the drain.
Now, let's get ready. You are Talkin Live with Lamar Bearden.
I look around myself and see what all's around me and what's going on. I don't look and listen to the news necessarily that much, but I watch to see what's a lie and what's the truth, though, a lot of times. That's the only time I watch the news, to figure out what's going on with the lies and with the truth. Now, over the weekend, I was trying to find some clips about what happened in the war, in Germany and Japan, and I didn't copy them because I just didn't think at the time. But I want to give you an idea here, and that you might see what communism is all about. So, but my biggest thought, and that keeps me angry, is that we have Omar, we have that Mandani, he is a communist, Sanders, AOC, and that we're sitting back, we're letting these people come up there and just start trouble and try to push this communism, socialist upon the American people. And you young people and you people that are blinded by the fact that the communists don't care about the people. The socialists don't care about the people. They take old people out, they shoot them dead because they're a burden on them. Now, if you want to be under communism, this is what you're going to face. You're going to face shortage of food all the time. You're not going to get to go when you want to. You're not going to have to party when you want to because you won't have nothing to party with. And you're going to be bound to the government that you can't do nothing without permission. You want to be allowed, say over in North Korea, people are not even allowed to have a car. And that will be, what was Biden trying to do? If you didn't buy an electric car, you was going to be out of luck. They're going to take your car away from you. And then they talk about what Trump's doing now. It all started with Biden and Obama. All this chaos, all this arguing and fuss and the racism, all that stuff started from Obama up to Biden. And it's because Trump's got money, I think, is the biggest issue with you people out there. You're jealous of him. And mostly you Democrats are jealous of him. You hate his guts because he beat you. You don't like to be beat. Well, he don't either. I don't. Like this TV station, I support it. I don't want to be beat. I start something, I want to finish it. Well, Biden and them, they started something, but Trump got in their way. They started all this stuff with communism, socialism, because they wanted to rule what you do, where you go, where you can burn gas, or where you could burn electric, or where you could have a solar panel or whatever. They started all this, telling you what you can't have or you can't do, and what you got to do because the government says so. Now, that's what Obama, and not so much as Obama, but Joe Biden. But Obama was starting this clean air and all this stuff. You'll never clean the ocean up. You'll never clean the air up because there's too many people in this world. So you environmental people that are idiots that think you can, but you'll never do it because there's no cooperation with the people that pollute. There's not going to be any cooperation, and you're not going to make somebody do nothing. How many times when you put your garbage out, how many bags of garbage do you put out? They take it to the landfill, they bury it, and it goes into the water system. There's bleach, there's cleaner, there's all kinds of, all kinds of stuff going to the landfill right now. And you think you're going to rule the people and make them change. Very few people call my company. But they'll call me, a few will call me and say, I don't want to put these batteries in the landfill. I don't want to put this stuff in the landfill. And so you people that vote Democrat, I ain't saying the Republicans they're not perfect, but they're better than what you started, Democrats. They got little morals. You don't have any morals. You don't have anything to back up what you stand for. And what you stand for is an abomination to God. It is. Oh, people said, well, you won't get no advertising, you won't get no guests, you won't get no... And that I hadn't been able to get anybody from Hollywood because of big mouth Alex Baldwin. But I'm going to tell you something. Movie stars and everybody has to give an account to God just like everybody else. Their money, their fame will not mean nothing. When you die, you're just like everybody else that's got the answer for what you've done. Of course, you can't get people to understand that. That's why you have so many idiots getting out there, full of the devil, taking a gun, shooting innocent people. They can't understand there's a day of answering for what they do before God. They can't understand that. And you know why they can't understand it? The Democrats started just taking the Bible out of schools. John Kennedy was the one that done that. But I agree, John Kennedy was a pretty good president in his own ways. But I disagree with him. See, you can't agree with every president that comes around. But you especially can't agree on one that's trying to destroy your country. See, these people are protecting these immigrants. These immigrants don't care. They're sitting back laughing at you. Russia, North Korea, Cuba, all the communist countries. They're sitting back laughing at this country because you Democrats have started something that will destroy this country, and they know it. I mean, Joe Biden alleged worked deals out with China, him and his son, worked deals out with all these other different countries just to make themselves rich. We can say alleged, but I feel like their hands were pretty red. Now, we can say a lot of things, but the fact is It is what it is. I mean, we can say there's no God, but God said, I am, I am. And he is. We can say, oh, we can be better under communism, socialist. You tell them people in the ground was burned alive because of communism. That Russia, millions and millions of people that Russia killed. Millions of people that North Korea line up and shoot dead. Millions of people that Germany put them in the furnace and closed them up and poured gasoline in and set fire to them alive. Starved them to death and put them in prison because they're Jewish. All you people out there, you think that you're going to have a free ride? You got hell coming to you if you think communism is the way to go. 250 years this nation has been here. And you, the Democrats and anybody that goes against the Bible or believes in the garbage that the Democrats do, you're bringing on the judgment of God to us. God ain't going to put up with it. He didn't put up with it when Noah built the ark. He didn't put up with it in Sodom and Gomorrah. He destroyed nations. He wiped people off of this earth that was, you can't even find them no more because they kindled God's spirit against them. And he destroyed them. But you won't listen. You won't hear what I say. You won't believe what I say. You know, when a man gets drunk and does stuff, he believes he can get away with everything because he's drunk. He's not in his right mind or get doped up. He goes out here and do these things because he thought he could get away with it. But at the end of the road, when he's in prison, he's sobered up. He sees what's really happened. He knows I was a fool, and I can't change it. I got so many years in prison. I can't go back and bring it back and not do it. That's what you people that are lingering toward communism, socialists. What kind of people are you out there? Have you lost your mind, your understanding? In New York, have you lost your mind because AOC and that woman, Omar, come from Somalia? What right does she have in Congress? What right does Sanders have in Congress? And they call it the squad. What right does anybody need to be in Congress that lean toward communism or the Republican Party? What right? It ain't about freedom. It's about suckering American people in and telling them, promising them the moon and give them the shaft. You know, promises are a lot of big things. The only one that keeps this promise is Jesus Christ. The rest of the whole world, you can't depend on the word of nobody. We've had guests like all kinds of famous people agree to come on our show, and they cancel. Word don't mean nothing. Respect don't mean nothing. They talk about, the NFL. the mafia. That's been going on for years and years and years. Gambling. Every place that they can make money, that's where they're at. That's where they're involved. That's why they call it racketeering. It's no surprise to me. Are you surprised out there? Are you surprised that one day you might wake up and a nuclear weapon might be in your lap? Would you be surprised? Or you wake up one morning and soldiers come in your house and take over? Would you be surprised? Well, you shouldn't be if you lean toward communist socialism. If Donald Trump was a Nazi, if he was a dictator, you'd be put in those furnaces, you'd be lined up and shot. And you call him every name in the book. But all he's trying to do is make it work. Some things I don't understand, some things I don't agree with. But it's time for American people to quit giving away the money. And the Democrats want to give away $1 trillion something to these immigrants that never worked a day in their life over here. Having babies one right after another. They want to give your food stamps to them. And then you go up there and you take up for them. You protect them. It's all right, immigrants come to this country and be a part of America. If they do it legal, the Italians, the Irish, and all, they come into America. They help build New York and the United States. But these immigrants we got now is going to help destroy the United States because of the Democrats. They're only doing what they're offering them. You know, my daughter told me she despised, hate my ex-wife. She was Spanish, not because of her race, because I spent a lot of money on her. And you know why? I volunteered to do that. And that's what America's doing. They're volunteering to give this country away. And you can't blame nobody but the people that vote for these scums like Omar and all these others. You cannot blame nobody but them. And you, if you vote for, see, murdering babies brings a raft up on America. Raping little children, trying to turn them to little boys and girls. Change their identity. That's what's killing God against America. Look at these pieces. Look at this right here now.
During the 1944 offensive in Europe, American engineers used an unusual weapon against German troops. They created a deadly electric barrage that proved extremely effective. One such barrage was set up in the Ardennes forest. American specialists carefully prepared the trap, dug a trench, laid cables, and carefully camouflaged them. They connected the system directly to power lines. The shoes of captured German soldiers were studied to determine the optimum voltage. On an early winter morning in 1944, a German infantry battalion went on the attack against the American positions. As the soldiers entered the kill zone, the soldiers turned on a switch, applying a voltage of 2,000 volts. The result was stunning. About 500 German soldiers died instantly, as if they were in a giant electric chair.
And then we got other videos. I'm going to compile a lot of information on communism, socialism. I know it may not do any good, but maybe 2 or 3 will listen.
snow to hunt them down. The clever fugitives moved only across frozen paths where the rough terrain slowed the Germans' advance. The commander lifted his binoculars and spotted the fleeing Jews. He swore that none of them would live. The fugitives found a small cabin, broke the door open, and hid inside. After days without food, they devoured the bread they found on the table, then lay down on the owner's bed to rest. They slept through the night. By morning, their strength had returned, but one of their men was gone. They searched the snowy field and found him lying still and frozen. With no time to mourn, they buried him under a thin layer of snow. Just then, after a night of tracking, the German soldiers caught up. The commander grinned with excitement. He had finally found his prey. The Jews signaled to one another, telling the others to flee, while one man stayed behind with a rifle. He planned to ambush the Germans, unaware that the commander had already spotted him, lying low behind a rock. He waited until the Germans came into range. He raised his rifle and fired. The first shot struck the commander, then another shot, and another. German soldiers dropped one after another. He reloaded quickly for another round, but the commander had circled behind him. A grenade flew through the air, exploding with a deafening blast. The sound alerted the fleeing Jews. The commander brushed snow off his uniform, picked up his hat, and coldly saluted his fallen man before continuing the chase alone. Soon, his team got lost in the endless white. Luckily, they found a forest that shielded them from the storm. The commander was sure the Jews had hidden inside. He was right. The fugitives planned to sneak down the mountain and reach a German checkpoint, but guards were everywhere. A direct assault was impossible. Then a German patrol passed by carrying ropes. One of the Jews stepped out as bait, drawing a soldier closer. The moment the German approached, he was stabbed from behind. The Jews took his rope, slipped quietly under the bridge, and when a sentry leaned over to look, they pulled him down and killed him instantly. A Jewish woman crawled out from under a truck, sneaked into the driver's seat, and tried to start the military vehicle, but before she could drive away, another German blocked her path. He opened the door, ordering her out, only to be stabbed by a hidden ally. The noise gave them away. The Germans mobilized fast. The Jews blew up a fuel truck, and flames erupted into the night sky. They drove straight through the fire, racing across the bridge, but the Germans reacted even faster. The car lost control and crashed into a checkpoint. The survivors jumped out and ran. Hearing gunfire, the commander arrived, furious, only to learn the Jews had escaped again. He ordered the guards to pursue, but they refused, so he went after them himself. The Jews fled deeper into the mountains, but the commander's persistence was unshakable. He would not stop. An old man told his companions to go ahead. He would hold the line. On a snowy ridge, the old man shouted, taunting the German commander. The officer raised his gun without hesitation. The echoing shot triggered an avalanche. The Jew kept shouting insults, and the commander fired again. The roaring snow collapsed all around them. The commander fell, rolling helplessly down the slope. The avalanche swallowed him whole. The Jews thought they were finally safe. They returned to the small cabin to rest, but the commander had somehow survived. He kicked down the door, covered in blood, his face twisted like a demon. He screamed, "All you Jewish pigs, die!" The Jews tried to bribe him, but the commander didn't care. He pulled the trigger, executing everyone inside. Moments later, the commander collapsed from his wounds and died.
See, some of that is reacting to what happened. But I'm going to get some feeling about communism, what happens under communism. As I was watching some of these clips I seen the other day, that the Jewish people were put in, in buildings and starved to death, and then after and they lined up a bunch of old people, see. That's what I'm trying to explain to you people out there that are voting Democrat, and and up in New York, you'll probably stand up for these people. See, you see these flags here. Do you want one of them instead of the American flag? Pick out which one you want, because these all four are communist countries. You go down to Cuba, you can't even have nothing that's good to eat anymore. You go down to Cuba and the streets are ghetto everywhere because of communism. People barely have food to eat. I got friends that come from Cuba. I know what I'm talking about. I know what they say. I know what they tell me. They don't have enough gas. They don't have air conditioning. They don't have none of that stuff. The government has it all. You go to Korea, the people are starving to death over there because of communism. There is so much suffering going under communism rule. There's hell. It's hell. And for you to act like you want it, you deserve it. Now, by the time it gets completely here, if you don't die before, you'll see this, and you'll regret it until you die suffering. I can't understand most of you people out there that say They're Christians, but they'll vote to kill a baby. They'll go to church on Sunday, but they'll vote to kill a baby. They'll vote for the Democratic Party, knowing what they stand for. Open your eyes. People are blind, deaf, can't hear nothing. You can't even smell the stink of the Democratic Party. They stink. They're the scum of this earth up in Washington, D.C. There are good people here in this country that are Democrats. Don't believe in all this stuff. But I'm going to tell you something. If you vote, you're just as guilty as they are. If you vote for them. I'm going to take a little break, and I want you to watch my commercial, Pumpkin's commercial. You got it ready there, Jeff. Then I hit you on the blind side. Okay, well, anyway, we can go on. I'm looking, I read the Bible a lot, and I try to go by what it says. A lot of people think you can just do anything you want, you're going to heaven, but I'm afraid it ain't that way. It's good it ain't that way. Can you imagine if a Christian could do anything he wanted and still go to heaven? What would be the point of the blood of Jesus Christ? And this what I'm saying in the book of Romans, first chapter, if you'll read, he'll talk about how did people's lust and women for women and men for men. It's talking about all the abomination of God. The stealing, the murdering, the greed. And that's what's going on right now. The stealing, the murder, the greed. Now, I want people to understand that I'm not your judge. I'm the person that's telling you the best I know is right and wrong. God bless you.
The views and opinions expressed on all Talkin Live Show presentations are those of the host and their guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Talkin Live TV broadcast studio, EPB Fiber Optics, or by this network or its management.
Before drones and digital streams, there were boots on the ground and cameras in the wild. Every Saturday evening starting at 5 p.m., journey back with the pioneers who filmed nature's first close-up shots. Real explorers, timeless stories that bring the beauty and wonder of the natural world into your home. All evening long, every Saturday. Watch Echoes of the Wild, only on Timeless Classics TV.